Hello, and welcome to my channel, The Bearded Hermit. This week, I stay busy trying to finish up the steel siding on the east wall of the A-frame cabin. The weather turns cold, and we get a little bit of snow, but not that bad yet. The good people at Proyama sent me a chainsaw to test out. I get rid of some brush and dead trees laying around the cabin, and cut down a few more standing dead trees to make firewood. And I buy door locks for the 4 doors on the A-frame and start to install them.
Well, I picked up these door handles from Menards.
Why do they make packaging for door locks so hard to get into?
Well, there we go. All out of the box. So I picked out this sort of antique looking brushed, it's not chrome, it's more like a, boy, I don't know what to call it. Bronze, an antique bronze looking. And so we're going to put it in this door here.
It's been a while since I've had to install door locks, and it takes me a minute to figure things out. It has always been a joke that men never look at instructions, but most of the time I do. It will save you from making some serious mistakes, trust me.
Well, first thing I have to do is chisel out where this part fits into the door. So let's take a look at that.
So I finally figure out which screw to use and start the install.
Okay, we got to make sure the key lock is on the outside and the button is on the inside. Okay. Okay. And then we grab the K screw. No. We grab Q and the long ones. Are the shorter ones.
It's getting kind of late in the day, and it gets dark so early now, around 5 p.m., that I need to hurry to finish up so my camera can see what I'm doing. I was having some trouble lining up one screw, but eventually I get it. Lining up the screws seemed to be the hardest part of this job.
I've got the bottom lock here, the door handle part installed, and put a key in it. right. And we're going to install the receiver plate right here. Okay. And now we're going to see if this closes and locks. Boy, it sure does. And we're going to lock the door. And unlock the door. Okay, now we're going to do the same steps but for the deadbolt. Okay, and now, where does this go? P. The P screw. Well, that's not right.
I promise you, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to all of you.
And then, last thing to do is put this plate on the jamb for the deadbolt. Last two screws go here. All right. All that's left to do is check it and see if it works. Alright, everything's looking good. I'll try the keys here on the deadbolt. It's a little tight for that deadbolt, but it works. So, that's it. Everything's looking good on this door. All I need to do is get 3 more of them done. This is the bathroom door here. I've got the kitchen door to do. I've got the door facing the east wall. And then up above on my deck, I have a door leading from my bedroom off to the onto the deck. And that's that door up there. So, got 1 down, 3 to go. The good people at Proyama were nice enough to send me this chainsaw. So we're gonna open it up, take a look at it, get it started, and see how it performs. This particular model comes with an 18-inch bar and a 22-inch bar. Comes with a nice carrying bag for the chainsaw, which is always good. Keeps dirt and water off of your tools when you're not using them. Oh, this is nice. Comes with its own safety equipment. Here there's a pair of earmuffs, which, you know, running chainsaws, you definitely need hearing protection because they're quite loud. This is obviously the safety bar. And looks like the face shield here. And we've got our 2 chains here for the 2 lengths of bars, which are really nice. Ooh, and a nice pair of safety gloves. These look like they're covered in these are covered in rubber here, so these will be nice to use out in the woods. One size fits all. And we've got the chainsaw here. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the instructions, see how this gets put together. First step says to install this bumper spike, which hangs on the front of the chainsaw. And this is very useful when you're on a tree, when you're on a log and you're sawing through. You take this part on the chainsaw, you hook it on the log, and then you use that as a lever point. So if you hook your chainsaw on, you can lower the handle, and then that forces the bar up through the wood. And this gives you a lot of mechanical advantage when you're using a chainsaw. So it's very useful. Okay, that's installed. Number 2, install gasket. Looks like they provide 2 of them. But we're only going to put 1 on. Looks like it goes like this. Okay. That gasket goes on there. So I think to start out with, we're going to install the 22-inch bar. Okay. It says lay bar to the drum sprocket. Okay. I'm going to put my gloves on here to handle the chain, because the chain's going to be sharp. Okay. The chain is sitting in the groove where it's supposed to be. Needs to fit on here, like so. Okay. Pull the guide bar forward, so the bar is forward now, the chain is stretched tight. And then it says to install the cover. Okay, so that was not exactly straightforward, but I figured it out. So the number 7 says you have to install this cover to lock down the bar and chain, but also this pin right here, which is your adjustment pin for the bar, has to go into the hole in the bar here. And I had to spin it about 20-25 times to get the pin to move back far enough for it to line up in the hole. But that's very important, because later on when you want to adjust the bar, you want the bar to come in and out, that pin needs to be set properly in the hole of the bar, so when you turn it, the bar will actually slide forward and back, giving you different tension on your chain. So you don't want your chain too tight or too loose. But we're going to put the cover on here. So now it all lines up. And then put the nuts on here. Number 9 says turn the chainsaw over and look at your chain. Okay, so the brake band is positioned around the clutch drum, so they want you to double check you have that properly. Okay, so that looks good. Now, as you can see, this chain is super loose. It's hanging down here. So we're going to have to make an adjustment here with the tool that they provided. When you're working with the chains, you should always have your gloves on. Safety first. Okay. Okay, so we're going to tighten this up until the chain right here, the chain has some slack here. We're going to tighten it until you don't see that gap anymore. Okay. Maybe just a little more. There we go. Okay. So now it says to lift up the bar with one hand and tighten the nut with the other. Well, that still looks a little on the loose side. So we're going to tighten that chain up just a little bit more. Okay. And now we're going to tighten it up. Alright. The chain is moving around the bar, and everything seems to be Okay. Okay. And there you have it. This bad boy is assembled. And ready to go. Okay, we're going to fuel it up here. This is a 2-cycle engine, which means it needs a mixture of gas and oil at a 40-to-1 ratio. And I happen to have some gas here at a 40-to-1 oil to gas ratio, but this chainsaw also comes with its own mixing container for the gas and oil, so you can do it yourself pretty easily. So we're going to fill it up here. Lock down the cap. And then we're going to fill up the oil reservoir for the bar. Now this is chain and bar oil. It says that this chainsaw has an automatic pump for this oil, so you just fill it and forget it. And what it does, it slowly puts oil out on the chain, and that lubricates the chain going around the bar, and it keeps the bar cool. If you're ever running a chainsaw and you start to see your bar smoking, like it's hot, smoking like white smoke, it means it's not getting any oil and it's heating up real hot. So you want to stop what you're doing, and you either ran out of your chain and bar oil, or something's clogged and the oil isn't getting out to the chain. So that's always important to watch out for that, and to make sure every time you fill up with gas, you fill up with oil to make sure you don't run out. The instructions on the cold start of this engine: you pull your safety bar forward, and back here there is a ball that you squirt a couple times to make sure there's gas in the ball into the motor, and then you make sure you flip your on switch to the on position, and then you have to pull the choke out to the start position until it clicks and it stays out on its own. Oh. And there we have it. I'm going to take it outside and trim up some trees and brush around my cabin, see how it performs.
I had left all these small trees around the cabin because I liked the look of the woods coming right up to the A-frame. But it's been hard to work around, and it's also not safe because of fire danger. So I decided to trim everything back about 8 feet. I really like this length of bar on the chainsaw because it can reach the ground without too much trouble to get all the small trees and brush. This stump here was not rotten at all. I had cut this tree down last year to make room for the cabin. But this Proyama chainsaw goes through it like nothing. A good test for a chainsaw is how it goes through a hard stump. And it does just as good a job on rotten logs on the ground. This cedar tree here I'll be saving. There's not many of them on the property, and when they die, I can always find uses for them. I get 2 smaller logs from it and 1 larger one that I cut off at the ground. The center of this bigger log is a bit rotten, but I can still use it.
Well, chainsaw's doing pretty well. It's cutting everything I want to cut. Little limbs, big logs, everything. And out of the base of that cedar tree, there was a sapling growing. I'm going to transplant the cedar tree. Hopefully it'll live next year, but you never know when you transplant like this.
This was the next day, and I cold start the chainsaw. 3 pulls, and it fired right up. Reliability is very important out in the woods when your life could depend on a tool. This dead tree behind the garage could fall down at any time. It really needed to come down. And the Proyama chainsaw makes short work of it.
Yeah, got that dead tree cut down. It was a birch tree. Died a few years ago. It's a little soft, little rotten. The woodpeckers were getting after it, but I think it'll still make some decent firewood. At least a couple pieces of it there. So yeah, that's it. Chainsaw works really well. And that's it. Chainsaw was running good for me. Cut up a bunch of brush and some dead logs on the ground. Cut down a standing dead tree out there. It did its job. I will say it's a bit on the heavy side, but it's a bigger chainsaw with a longer bar. And for me, with my bad lower back, I much rather work standing up straight rather than trying to lean over. And with this longer bar, I can almost reach the ground with it standing up straight. So that was a real big advantage to this chainsaw. So a little bit of extra weight for me doesn't matter. But I also like the fact that that when you buy this from Proyama, they give you a face shield They give you some earmuffs and they give you safety gloves. So they're really concerned about your safety. And definitely you should wear these things when you're out there working. You know. They also give, this also comes with a container to mix your gasoline with your oil, because this is a 2-cycle engine. It requires a mixture of oil in your gasoline. Comes with tools to do basic maintenance and tighten the chain and all that stuff here. And one thing I really enjoy, or that I like, it came with a file for sharpening your teeth on the chainsaw. And this is a really nice touch because depending on what wood you're sawing, or you could hit a stone, you could be sawing something on the ground and go into the dirt. A lot of times people staple barbed wire to trees, and then it grows over metal and you're cutting into a tree, you have no idea, and you hit metal in the tree. It dulls all your teeth on your chainsaw. There could be bullets in trees from a hunter shoots a bullet into a tree 50 years ago, and now you're cutting down the tree, you hit a bullet, now all the teeth on your chain are dull. So a lot of things can happen, and it's always nice to have a file to keep your teeth nice and sharp. And it also came with a chain guard here, which protects the chain and also protects anything else from the chain. So you can grab it, you're not going to get cut. And it comes with a carrying case. You can zip it up in this, throw it in your back seat of your car, truck, whatever. Protects it and keeps the oil, gasoline, whatever. Keeps your car nice and clean wherever you store it. So that's a good idea. And this particular chainsaw, like I said earlier, came with 2 bars. This is the 22-inch bar. This is the 18-inch bar with a second chain for it, of course. And I have to say this is a pretty good value for the price point. It runs smooth. It starts right up when I'm out there in the woods. Just today I walked out there to cut that birch tree down. Motor was cold, sitting out below freezing. Went over, did all the steps for the chainsaw to start it, and I think I only had to pull it 3 times. Once and it putted, I turned the choke off, and then twice more and it started up. So, sitting out cold like that overnight and then it's starting right up for you, that's a good thing. You want something reliable when you're out in the woods, you're not around anybody, you want your tools to work for you. Thanks again to Proyama for sending me this chainsaw. They have a lot more products. Check them out on Amazon. The link will be in the description of my video if you want to check out their products. And this particular chainsaw, I do recommend.
I only have 3 more pieces of steel to cut and install to finish up the east wall. So I brush the snow off the steel and start cutting. It's about 26 degrees now and getting colder, so I'm very motivated to finish and get inside. I have that last skinny piece to the left of the door to install. It goes into place and lines up great. And it starts to snow a bit. To fit these last two pieces in between the door and window take a minute to figure out, but eventually I get it. I'm still using that trick of using a punch and hammer to make holes for the screws to go in easier. It really saves me time and effort.
Well, all the siding's done on the east wall of the A-frame. Finally. So, I still have to put on my 90-degree corner trim that'll go all the way up, over, and down. But everything else is done, so I really don't have to worry about water anymore. Ah, what a job.
Standing out by the creek, cutting down that cedar tree really was amazing. It's so beautiful down there, even on a cold day. Slowly but surely, this A-frame cabin is coming together. And getting to try out the Proyama chainsaw was a nice change of pace from working on the cabin. This is the end of the video. As always, please stay safe out there. And remember, life can be good sometimes.